passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Muroff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn, so there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's gonna do it! Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages. It has come down to this, the finale here at Phoenix, round 31, the end of the season for the 100% Div 2 here as well. It's time to do the one, the only. It's time to start them engines and get racing. Let's bring you up to date with the scores and tell you where we're at currently in the championship. Adam Benefield is out in front with 936 points. Patrick Gitter, though, is on 918 with Jason Taylor on 892. That is really the only ones that matter here this evening. It is going to be a nail biter. It is going to be exciting. But all we do know at the end of this, there's going to be one champion, and with 60 points up for grabs, 40 for the win, 10 for the stage wins. Let's see how this one evolves. I am James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Ria Subra once more, who's going to be with me, bringing all this 200 lap race from Phoenix. Stage 1 is on lap 45. Stage 2 is on lap 90. These guys will get one fast repair, 5 sets of tyres and 3 GWCs to get this done and rounded out and finished here as well. But let's bring Ria into the booth and have a discussion with the young lady here as well. Ria, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, James?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Very good indeed. Cannot complain at this wonderful time here, sitting at Phoenix with some great racing ahead of us. One of the things I have noticed is Adam Benefield is here. Okay, so he is here as well. I also see Patrick Gitter here, but I don't see no Jedi Taylor at the moment.
Yeah, you're right. That's very interesting. I wonder why he's not here today. Maybe he just didn't have the time to make it, busy or something like that.
Maybe. There as well. Unless I hold on, I am checking my own ability here because Adam Benefield is definitely here. Derek Heitman is here. But Derek's a little bit too far back to affect the standings. Diciani, Abreu, Marty, Alford, Tracy. Gitter is here. So it will be a Gitter and Benefield fight, really. The final two that can actually take this championship, can wrap this up. And they've been going for 31 races. You know, it started all the way back in February 17th. Of this year for that opening round at Daytona, and has now run all the way through to November the 3rd here at Phoenix. The final neck, the final leg, the final piece in the Div 2 puzzle. Who's your money on, Adam Benefield or Patrick Gitter?
It's a really hard call because we've seen very consistent and very fast. If I had to pick based on the very little information we have here with just their practice times, I would say that Gitter is looking pretty good.
I would as well. Now, don't forget, last time out, guys, it was a very interesting trip around Martinsville. The interesting thing behind that one was Homestead, where it was a Benefield, Gitter, and Dyson was your 1, 2, 3. So you know, it's interesting to see these guys battle this one out, and I think that's the thing. At Martinsville, it was Dyson, Gitter, and Pearson. So Gitter's been up there or thereabouts. You know, Benefield's not really been up towards the top that we've seen. So I think he's got to now come out and stamp his place on this. He is winning the championship. He's got to come out and say, okay, I am here. I am going to put this in. I am going to be right up there. But this man, well, from Charlotte, North Carolina, he has got an opportunity to go and stop Adam Benefield here, take this victory, take them stages, see how he gets on with points. Who knows? Who knows how this is going to go? I reckon you could be right. I'm not counting Adam Benefield out, but Patrick Gitter has looked strong over the last few rounds.
Yeah, I think we mentioned last week that it was definitely going to be a war at this race. They're the two in contention for the victory, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them battling hard throughout the entire race.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's going to be much quarter given here, to be fair, as I write down the scores in anticipation of doing maths, which should be an interesting one here as well, to make sure we got this right. And at the moment, Andrew Dyson is sitting on the pole position, man. The Australian himself, he is sat 5th in the championship at the moment. So let's see what Dyson's going to be able to do as well, whether or not he's going to be able to get himself in that front mix again. Dyson looks strong at Martinsville. You know, he looks strong at Homestead. And to be fair, Dyson, even at the Charlotte Roval as well, back along, he took the victory there as well. So for Andrew Dyson, you know, he's looking strong and he's looking really good. Obviously, he's setting him up for tomorrow for the upcoming Cup Series, because they're at Phoenix, finishing off at Phoenix as well. You know, theirs is a bit of a longer evening of racing than what we've got here. But, you know, they've got 312 laps tomorrow to do. For some of these guys, it is a practice. And there is Jason Taylor. He has made it here as well. So Jason Taylor is onto the grid. So now we've got a free car fight here, Rhea, between all three of these championship contenders.
Yeah, cutting it very close there. We're going to see if he can put that car up in the top 5 at least. He hasn't been on track for practice, so I wonder if he's gotten enough practice over the week to, you know, be able to contend here. He's usually pretty fast, so, you know, not a big shock if he ends up on the front row or thereabouts.
Does he need practice? That's the question for Jason Taylor. Does he need practice? You know what I mean? He might not sit back and think, well, he doesn't need practice. He can just go and take the victory. Who knows? The distance of the circuit is a mile-long oval, guys. Banking is variable banking. 8 to 9 degrees in turns 1 and 2. 0 to 11 in the front stretch dogleg. 10 to 11 in turns 3 and 4. Now, for the front stretch and the back stretch, it's 9 degrees on the front stretch, 3 degrees on the back stretch. Total length of 1,551 feet on the front, 1,179 feet on the back. And let's not forget, this did open up in 1964, this circuit, so it is one of the longer ones. Here is the grid. Andrew Dyson is in first place with Patrick Gitter in second. Corey Harville will be third with Alex van der Zandt in fourth. Jason Taylor in fifth. Tanner Marty in sixth. Jordan Pearson in seventh. Wayne Grass will be in eighth. Nick Schell ninth. Derek Heitman 10th, and John Delaney down in 11th. Matt Dicciani is in 12th place. Then on from there, Pedro Palladino in 13th, Lucas Abreu in 14th, Adam Benefield down in 15th, Carl Lamont 16th, Daniel Coelho in 17th, Dustin Hall 18th, Chad Keeby in 19th, Nicholas Pressey in 20th, Nick Alford 21st, Cameron King 22nd, Damaris Inkenbottom 23rd, and Ben Tracy is 24th. Ryan Adams 25th, Cody Coley in 26th, Joseph in 27th, and Sean O'Brien in 28th place. 28 cars going to rip around here, Rhea. Well, how many cautions do you reckon we're predicting here today?
Well, I'm always hoping for not a lot, but we'll What were we thinking? Over under? We gonna go around 5? You say?
Yeah, 5. If you want to go over or under 5, what do you reckon?
I honestly I think under. They're usually pretty clean.
Okay. Under 5. Well, that only leaves me with over 5, really, doesn't it? Let's be real. So anything over 5, and well, I win. Anything under, Rio wins. So let's see what happens.
You can buy another mug if you lose.
No, I'm not. That mug cost me an insane amount of money to get it sent over here from last night. It was crazy. I should never bet with Al Corey for the Triple Bypass. He always he'd win, and I just can't, keep up with the guy. Some people said that I should have got double or quits, but to be honest, I probably would have ended up costing me a hoodie or something. You know what I mean? And I don't want that. So yeah, let's see what happens. Dyson's on pole, so he will be the first one out and up and running and ready to go. And here comes everybody else. The second place man, Patrick Gitter, of course, is the man who can upset Adam Benefield down in 15th. He is should be down in 15th by the time they get out onto the track and set up in their lanes. The pace car is gone out. There it is. It's into the pits. That's a very long pit entry. That is insanely long here at Phoenix, isn't it? Because
it's a very long straightaway too.
Yeah, that straightaway is not until out of the exit here as well, coming out of 3 and 4. Oh, what a horrible straightaway here as well. But ladies and gentlemen, Phoenix is up and running. 200 laps of Phoenix, and it is Dyson, Gitter, Van der Zandt, Taylor, Pearson and Tanamari are your front runners at the moment. Pedro Palladino is up 5 places, with John Delaney is also up 4 here. He's another man who's doing an absolute stellar job. He will be taking part in tomorrow. No. Wayne Grass, come on. Settle down, dear sir. 2 lines at the moment, Rio. What do we think with Phoenix? 2 lines going to be possible? Can they run a constant 2-line round here?
I mean, it's possible. It's almost always possible, but it's maybe not the ideal here. You do get a lot of draft going down that straightaway.
No, Wayne Grass. That's it.
Oh, that was unfortunate. Very early on.
Lap 2 is the terminology.
Yeah.
On lap 2. And as we saw last night, he got into the 83 there of Adam. That's funny enough. That was Tim Conti's Adam Benefield, who gave Grass a little bit of a love tap and has gone around already. So not a great opening couple of laps here, guys, for these ones, as we do hit our first caution on lap 2.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just lost the speed and got ran over. So
yeah, he definitely did.
It's hard to really place blame there.
Oh, so diplomatic point of view you have, dear. So
sometimes,
yeah, it's can't really place blame. Me, I'd be like, Benefield here, his fault all day.
Yes, but my point of view is there are racing incidents do happen, and unfortunately Grass was starting to lose speed a couple of times throughout the lap, so I think it was more just Benefield wasn't prepared for how much of an overspeed he had on him. So yeah, if you really want to place blame, you could say Benefield should have let off a little more, and there's a lot of things he could have done to avoid that, but at the same time it's not unavoidable, but not the most shocking thing to happen in that situation.
No, I'm not saying it is. I just, they say the hiatus is on the car behind to, make sure that there's enough room and make sure they stop in time and stuff like that. I think a lot of things with that is just people presuming that everybody's got, the skills of a cat to stop the car. Like, you know, we're human. We're not robots. We can't just, you know, dive it out the way. It's as the old saying goes, you know, we're not Harry Potter. We just can't make it disappear. You know, and I think that's the thing. You've got to understand where people's sort of imagination comes from when it comes to the car behind's got to try and stop. Well, yeah, you can say that, but it's not always easy, is it, really? Let's face it. But let's get this back up and running.
I mean, even if you have the reaction time, you still have to make the car work the way you want it to as well. So maybe you react on time, but it's hard to make the car do exactly what you want at those speeds.
Exactly, and the car in front has also got to make sure he's doing what he wants to be doing. And 9 out of 10 times, the car in front doesn't always do what he should do, as we've found out. So Patrick Gitter is on this pole now. He's sitting in this first place. How is he going to get on here? Is he going to be able to get this up and running into the Geico restart zone? We go. Gitter's decided enough is enough. I am gone, gone, gone. He needs to get as many points as on the board as he can. Now, with 60 points up for grabs here, you know, it's all to play for, because for Patrick Gitter, that will give him enough to over Benefield, depending on where Benefield is in the stage breaks as well. You know, he's up in 7 places at the moment. There he is in that 83 Team Conti machine there as well. You know, Benefield's always looking quick, and people always looked at Benefield and how fast he actually is. And he does a stellar job. Yeah, his qualifying doesn't always match where he should be on the road, on the circuit, but he gets there in the end. And I think that's the thing with Adam Benefield, that consistency, that ability to always put it in the right place. I think that's one of his strong points.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already up 8 places, and it's only been 3-4 laps under green, so he's really making his way through the pack. My question is, because of his spot in qualifying, do we think we're going to have a repeat of last week, where he was looking very good throughout the race, and then at the end he just couldn't close the door?
Maybe, I don't know. And I'm just hoping that he's gone into the mindset that he can actually do this. Do you know what I mean? He can take it. He has got points on the board. You know, he's got 18-point gap. It's going to take some for submission from some of the guys in front of, like Patrick Gitter, who knows he's got to go and take the win. He knows he's got to go and take stage. He knows he's got to do all these things. It's the same with Taylor. Taylor's even further back. You know, he's 36, what is he at the moment? 42 points, 40 points back. So he's another man that's got a heap of pressure wrapped on his shoulders. There's a lot to ask of drivers when there is pressure, and I think that's one of the things here as well. There's a lot of driving and a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things heaped on the shoulders. There's a lot of things, as we know, to think about while you're in the car generally. So I think the one that could be under the most amount of pressure could be Jedi Taylor. But see how he handles that pressure. See how he handles it, and whether or not he can start making moves through. That's one of the things we've got to look out for. That's one of the things that we'll see what happens. I think that's going to be where they'll be at the end of these 200.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if they are on different strategies, or if they all go the same strategy and end up basically just being a race of pure consistency and speed. If that's the case, I think we're going to have a shootout for the end, if I'm quite honest, especially with Adam Benefield still making up places. He's already up another position since I talked about him last.
But the problem is now, for Adam Benefield, the next one on his list is Taylor, who effectively is fighting him in that championship. If you can stop him, great, you'll do a great job. How you're going to stop him, and you can't just be throwing blocks left, right and centre and hope for the best. That's the thing. You know, you've got to be looking at the bigger picture here as these cars come rushing down towards us. You've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to look at what they're going to be, what's going to be able and what's going to be legal, and what's going to not put you in the most amount of problems, I think, because the last thing you really want to do is set yourself up to have a fall. And Taylor and Benefield know that, and Gitter knows that. They're not silly people. They're not stupid drivers. They're not people who are going to make crazy mistakes, and that's the thing. Patrick Gitter there sitting in that 21. How did John Delaney get to the front? Really missed something?
It just happened. He went on the inside of, I think it was turn 1?
Yeah, there he
He
goes.
was right over the line.
There he goes, and through he goes. Here, John Delaney, nice simple under. Took the inside over Patrick Giddo and job done. Dyson now nestling in behind Giddo once more, and we'll see how Dyson can get on. Dyson's looked strong, the Australian, you know, he's gone about his business, he's done a great job, and he's fighting out in the Cup Series, so that's one of the things for Andrew Dyson. Coming here at Phoenix gives him a good old run, good old practice run for tomorrow night, where they have got a lot longer laps. It's another 60, I think, on top. So for Dyson, it's a good to get out and practice, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think for any of them going into the race tomorrow, it'll be great practice. Obviously, getting the points here wouldn't be bad for anybody. But yeah, I think we do know a lot of people that are moving on or basically have said before they use this race as practice.
Yeah, but to be honest, if you've got an option to run your car at practically, you know, what is it, 200 laps, what have they got tomorrow, 300, so over 50% of the distance of tomorrow's race, you know, you've got to take it, right? You can't not take it. Adam Benefield has cleared Taylor, is now trying to clear Van der Sant. So Van der Sant in that purple 96 there. Let's see what Van der Sant's going to be able to do with now just nestling in. They're coming up to a few back markers already. Cody Coley, Wayne Grass is on the track map as well. And number 25 in the 25th position is Ryan Adams. So these guys are going to have to be a little bit more careful as these leaders are going to start coming through. What do we think on draft here, Ria? Is it very draft dependent? Do we think we're going to have a draft dependent circuit, or are we going to look at the fact that, yeah, it's there, but it's not really as important as some of the super speedways we go to?
If I remember correctly, it's a little bit in the middle where there's certain sections of the track, as you can see, going towards the tri-tip point of the tri-oval. It's mostly turns in that section, but you do have that long straightaway where it does matter much more. So it definitely is a track where it helps. It's maybe not as powerful as some of the super speedways like Talladega and such, but it is, as you can see from people that have fallen out of the packs, it's definitely something you don't want to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I think sitting in mid-pack here, drafted in general, is something you don't want to be losing anyway. You can see Benefield's strategy as they come off that bank again on free. He doesn't go over that apron line at the bottom like Van der Sant did, and now they're going to be running side by side here, coming out of turn 2 on that back stretch. Benefield in that 83 is going to have that inside line approaching into the tricky turn 3. He tightens up a lot more here and now runs out over that start-finish line. Benefield still got the inside. Pedro Palladino sat back looking at this. Now Benefield takes the inside line. He now looks at coming down, and now I think that's going to be moved on over Alex Van der Sant. Van der Sant's not giving it up though. He's hanging around the outside as they're coming off the exit of turn 2. He's got to give it up now. Benefield's got his nose in front. Job done for Anna Benefield. 11th place gain, sitting in 4th already.
Yeah, what a beautiful move. You could see how much later he braked into the turn than Van der Sant, but it was very clean. It was great to watch as Van der Sant's trying to take the inside and come back on him. Might actually have a chance going into, well, of course they always have a chance, but might actually have the run is what I meant to say, going into the next turn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing.
Back a little.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got it. The thing is with that run coming out of that tricky section is, you know, I always find it tough when you see drivers do what these guys are doing, taking that run down. You can see Van der Sant do it there. Up, and Benefield just runs around the circuit. I always think it's going to be tough because as they come up, they kind of bounce a little bit, and you know, can put the car out of syncs and put it all sort of, you know, a little bit wobbly, should we say? And we're probably going to get a good picture here from Pedro Palladino's car if he does take the same line downwards, of course. No, my luck, he's probably not going to, is he really? No. So unfortunately that kind of threw that one out, and that was a big spanner in the works. But I think they've got to look you've got to look at the bigger picture. If you hit the coming back up and you're a little bit out of shape, or the person on that line who's run the line hasn't given you the room to come back up, you're always going to struggle to get back up here, as Palladino is looking like he has just cleared Van der Zandt. I got a funny feeling Van der Zandt's just on our outside. He is running side by side with Palladino now. Palladino now goes down very far and then pops it back up. But you see the entry and exit coming out of that section alone. You know, he popped it and the car bounce going down. He popped it and the car bounce coming out. It's going to be very tough for some of these drivers to make sure that they're not overdoing that run on that inside line.
Yeah, it's very easy to do as well, especially at that speed. If you take it wrong or with too much steering angle, you'll end up just losing the back end of the car quite easily. So yeah, it's something you really have to be careful with, but it does save a decent amount of time, as you can see right there. As Palladino passes Van der Zandt, it looks like he may have made it stick. Van der Zandt still has his run, trying to pull it back. Might be able to switch it up to the inside here. Too early on the brakes, unfortunately. But yeah, it's very, very easy to lose the car there. Yeah. Just going on the apron pretty much at all.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. They're going to have to just be a little bit more careful as we go down to Jordan Pearson, who's mixing it up here as well. Jordan taking that normal line around the outside. You've got the two cars of Heitman and Joseph in front here. Heitman in that 76 Ford, and you got Joseph in front in the Ford as well. Now, we were talking about there wasn't many Camrys here, where we have had one appear on the grid. Chad Keeby in that 23 Toyota has appeared on the grid in that Camry. That is the only Camry in the field. So if the Camry takes the win tonight, it's got to be Chad Keeby, because he's the only one in it. As we can see, the mellow yellow Carl Ammon in the outside line there as well. Not quite the cold trickle livery, not too far off. You know, needed a bit of green in there, I think, as well. You know, make it a little bit bright and beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I like pretty much everybody's livery on this track. As they were in the pits, I was thinking to myself, you know, coming out onto the track for the pace lap, thinking, man, what a beautiful spread of cars. They all just look so ready to race. Livery making it's very hard, and as I've seen myself, it's very hard. But when it's done right, it really adds a lot to the car.
Yeah, it does there as well. I love Corey Harville's Power Rangers livery. Absolutely gorgeous. Go Power Ranger. Corey Harville there on the track, sitting down in 16th at the moment, down 13 places. Biggest gainer on the track is Joseph. He is currently on up 18 places in that Ryko Ford Mustang there as well. So Joseph there up 18, the biggest gainer on the circuit at the moment. We're 15 away for stage, and at the moment Patrick Gidder is going to get the jump on stage with Adam Benefield. He's going to pull points out of him. Van der Zandt, Taylor's just inside the top 10 as well, so it could be points for all three championship contenders here currently at the moment. Damaris Higginbottom is having a good old battle with Nick Shell right the way down the order in 22nd and 23rd. Now, Damaris did jump into the booth last time out at Martinsville for the Cup Series. So that if you haven't listened, you can go check it out, the 100 Cup Series on the YouTube, and you can listen to Damaris make his commentary debut on that one. So Damaris did do a good job on there, and it was my Sunday morning while I was sat eating me toast and jam in bed. My missus was on watching something on Instagram or something, and I was sat there watching the NASCAR. So hey, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, very easy morning, I'd say. Very relaxed.
I didn't rush around. Let's put it that way. I did not rush last Sunday at all. I just sat and chilled and sat back and just thought, right, well, you're going to sit there, dear. I'm going to sit here and eat toast, and I'm just going to sit and watch this. So there we go. And I got the same question.
Every weekend for me.
I got the same question. You know, how can you just watch cars drive around in a circle? I said, babe, you don't understand it. Shh.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Yeah. Outside looking in, it does not look like something that would be interesting until you get into it and you realize how much there is to it.
Jason Taylor is in threat here. If he's not careful, Heitman's going to come up on him. Jack Keeby looks like he might be a little bit too far back to take that 10th place away for Taylor, but he really needs as many points as he's going to get. If he doesn't going to get anything out of this stage, I think he's going to struggle to get anything out of this race and make any major difference going forward. I think it's going to be a Gitter-Benefield battle, but Pedro Palladino has done the thing that I was not expecting here as well. He's just passed Adam Benefield, so Pedro Palladino has gone through on Benefield now, but Palladino up into 4th place, up 9 places here, 10 away from stage. Gitter's still battling away with Dyson. He could really do with Dyson and Delaney doing him a favour and letting him through, but the chances of that is like getting next week's lottery numbers, Rio. It's never going to happen, and for Patrick Gitter, he's going to have to work for every point he can get here this evening.
Yeah, he's been having no, I don't want to say tough race, but maybe not as easy as he made it look last week. Very effortless looking last week. Obviously it wasn't. It was quite a hard thing to pull off, but last week he was just on point, and he's not doing bad, but does need to make up a bit of time here, especially as Delaney's getting further and further down the road, opening that gap. It's not really going to help him here.
No, definitely not. I think that was the thing with last week, wasn't it, at Martinsville? You know, Dyson took the victory, Gitter was in 2nd, and Pearson was in 3rd. But it was a nice little tidy battle all the way through. You know, jostling backwards and forwards. Dyson did a stellar job. Gitter was doing a good job as well. Gitter's kind of just been a little bit more, for me, consistent. Benefield, as I say, took 2nd at Homestead. Gitter got 2nd at Martinsville. But Gitter got 3rd at Homestead, you see. And that's the thing. Then we go all the way down to Las Vegas, where we had a completely different outright winners, and then the same down at the Roval. It was Dyson and Van der Zandt. So, you know, there's been a lot of drivers who have done well and been consistently well, and there's a lot of drivers that have peaked and gone back, as we just see Joseph got the inside of Lucas Abreu there. So a nice move from Joseph as he goes on and starts now trying to tackle that 96 of Van der Zandt. We are 6 away from stage at the end of lap 45. Will be the first stage here. As you can see, it's a very Chevy and Ford dominated field. One Camry in the field, and that's Keeby down in 11th. Ford and Chevy, car of choice here this evening.
Yeah, it seems to be, again, we talked about it before, but I think it's just the American companies in the American motorsport just kind of more favored, and obviously some of them, I've said it before, I do like the rear end of the Mustang quite a bit, but personally I just love the look of the Camry in general.
Yeah, I think everybody's favourite is everybody's different, isn't it? And I think that's one of the things that makes this kind of racing so amazing, is the fact that obviously everybody's choices are their own choices, you know, and I think fair play to them. I'm not going to lie, you know, go with whatever you're comfortable in here as well, as we go on board with the Ford of Heitman as he gets real close to Lucas Abreu in that bright yellow livery. The man from Brazil is on now outside at the moment. He is with Heitman coming up that inside line. He's going to take that position away. 8th now for Derek Heitman. Taylor sat in 10th. Could he get no points out of this? Well, we're going to find out now, because Taylor is sat there all on his own. Keeby's 1.6 seconds. Is he going to be able to take that position away from Jedi Taylor? Well, hang on and find out here as well, as we're going on to 42. That's past the outside back marker of Ryan Adams in that 47 Chevy. Coca-Cola liveried Chevy there as well. Heitman's now going to take the inside on the entrance going into 3 here. He has done a good job as Heitman. He's going to get that position. I believe Van der Zandt's got no choice but to give him room here, and I think he's going to make it through. They're still battling it out, and they're still going side by side at the moment, Rhea, but these two still not leaving anything on the track. They're leaving it all in that they're not leaving anything at home. They're leaving it all on the track. That's what I was supposed to say.
Yeah, they've really been battling and going at it these last couple of laps, and it's definitely great to watch, especially with how consistent they've been. Not really, no door banging, no taps or anything here. So it's great to see when we have close racing like this without too many incidents. We've only had the one yellow flag, which is looking good for me so far. Not getting anything out of that, no mugs or anything like that, but still, I'll take the win.
Hey, I want to go with Dad to go get a mug last night. I tell you, I'm not making any more deals, including League's merchandise, because I end up losing. John Delaney has now jumped onto that stage break here as well. Delaney is going to get the stage win here without a shadow of a doubt. I don't think there's anybody that's going to take this away from John Delaney. We are coming to the end of 49. The interesting thing, of course, is where is Gitter and what points is he going to get out of this stage? He's sitting in third at the moment. It's looked like a possible 8-point gain. What about Adam Benefield? Benefield's in 6th at the moment, so that's going to be 5 points for Benefield. And where is Taylor, where he did manage to hang on to the top 10, and he is sitting in 10th, so he gets 1 point. But John Delaney's taking that stage. The drivers get a little bit of a brief break. We'll wait for Delaney to jump into his pit box, and then we will see if we can have a chat to John Delaney here and see how he feels at Phoenix. He looks quite comfortable at the moment, I'm not gonna lie here, Rhea. And yeah,
yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I noticed that Gitter, the gap between Gitter and Dyson started opening up quite a bit there. So I bet Gitter's happy to have the stage right now, be able to just kind of reset, refocus, and have a chance to take those positions back.
Yeah, we'll wait for John Delaney to get into his pit box. There was nothing worse than a commentator all of a sudden bouncing in your ear when you're trying to go into your pit box here. So let's wait for Delaney to get that car stopped. There you go. John Delaney has stopped. Let's move him now into the waiting room. And now, hopefully, he'll be happy to talk to us here as well. Your stage 1 winner, Mr. John Delaney. John, welcome into the booth there, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I do.
How's it going out there, mate? You've taken the lead. You were running quite comfortably. Stage has come out. What do we think? What are your chances here this evening?
I think we're all right. I have the wrong setup in, so yeah, that's not helping my point, but car's all right. We're a little loose there, so yeah.
Okay, John, for a man that's got the wrong setup on, mate, you took the lead and you were leading it by about 1.8 seconds. I don't think that setup's doing too badly at the moment. What's it like out there on track? Because there is a good field here tonight, 28 cars on the circuit. What's it like out on there for yourself as well? Is it full concentration, full flat out all the way?
It depends where you are at in traffic. With this being a pretty hot track, it's 104 degrees, saving tires is going to be very crucial at the end, and also clean air is very crucial, so you got to try and balance those two out while trying to maintain and keep track position. So short tracks like this, it takes a lot of skill to be consistent over an entire run and to be fast. So just got to be consistent here, keep the right rear cool as always, and we should be fine.
Yeah, well, John, hopefully we'll see you back up the front after you come out of the pits in 6th place there, dear sir. But well done on the stage win, and we'll look forward to maybe having to speak to you later on in Victory Road.
Yep.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you.
Right, there we go. We put John Delaney back where he was. Now, as well, as he said, it's 40 degrees centigrade at the moment on that track. So it's getting very, very warm. Dyson here is currently your leader with Pedro Palladino in 2nd, Patrick Gitter 3rd, and Heitman in 4th. So for Patrick Gitter and Andrew Dyson, that quite worked out quite well. Now, current scores after this first stage are Benefield on 9-4-1, Gitter on 9-2-6. So he pulled 3 points out on Adam Benefield, and I've got Taylor on 8-9-3. Didn't really gain a massive advantage, got 1 point. So we'll see what happens at the next break and see who is going to be able to pick up the full 10. Pace car lights are out, and we will see Dyson get this back up and running and underway. From Gitter's point of view now, I think it's vitally important he gets another good good haul of points on the next stage, give himself a real opportunity going towards this back end run of the race here, Rhea.
Yeah, I think the restart here is going to be very important as well. He's going to have to keep a real careful eye on Dyson and make sure he takes off right at the perfect time. Otherwise, he'll start losing down the road, and that's not what he wants here.
Yeah, I think for me, he's just got to look at basically latching on to Dyson's. Dyson's gone already. Oh, that outside line got hung up a little bit. Palladino was late on the gas, and it is Dyson. He got the jump. Then it was Gidder and Joseph there as well. Palladino ended up down in fourth. There was a Van der Zandt snap. That's got to be a yellow, isn't it? Surely.
Definitely.
Yes.
I'm showing it's out already yet.
Yeah, it is a yellow. What? That was very strange from Alex Van der Zandt there.
Joseph definitely going to be happy with that. It's starting in third now.
There's no one round him. Oh! He just got loose, and here comes everybody else. He's kind of sat there all on his own, did Van der Zandt. That was a big old snap there from Alex Van der Zandt. As he comes up, you see here, he doesn't make a stitch of contact with anybody. Gets loose coming out the corner, tries to correct it, overcorrects it into the wall, and that also included, I think that was Corey Harville in that not Lightning McQueen, in the Power Rangers livery. Also had a bit of a moment after that one. I think he spent most of his time trying to avoid Van der Zandt at that point. But for Van der Zandt, that looked very bizarre, but he was sliding on entry. And then Corey Harville comes through, tries to lock it up, but he ends up sliding as well. Tough break for Alex Van der Zandt there. But lap 51 for Van der Zandt. Up one to correct, because he was kind of sliding going into the corner, wasn't he?
Yeah, you could see it, especially from the cockpit view. The rear end was just starting to kick out, and he was very gentle on correcting it, and then it snap oversteered, and there wasn't much he could do to correct that.
Definitely as well. Peggles, welcome in, dear sir. What a jump. Shame he couldn't get the advantage from it. That was an insane jump. It was for Dyson. He's going to have to go again. Gidder's going to be alongside him this time, so Gidder's not going to have somebody on that outside line holding him up like Palladino did. Palladino completely missed the start there. He didn't really get a jump. He didn't really get anything and completely missed it. He held up the outside line, and they unfortunately just didn't go anywhere. That bottom line just took off, and then at the end you saw Heitman pull out and said, well, I'm going to go. Delaney tried to go as well. So, you know, it was tough for that outside line, I think, behind Palladino. It was, a bit of a rough one. But let's see what Dyson could do. Down from Melbourne, hometown Melbourne there, Peggles. Down from your neck of the woods. He wrestled 10 kangaroos with his bare hands last week before he come into the booth to a chat for me after he took the win at Martinsville. Maybe not 10.
Yep, I don't know if anybody caught it on the restart, though. Dyson pulled a really great move where Gidder just gave him a tiny little bump just to give him the hurry up, and as he felt that bump, Dyson just took off. Perfect timing on that, so there wasn't much that Gidder could have done to respond to that.
Yeah, definitely. You just got to go with what you're handed, and Dyson did that jump perfectly. I think that's the thing. Dyson, a fellow Melbourneian, I know who I am supporting. Well, is the only Australian in the field, mate. So you've got Americans, Brazilians, and an Australian. 3 Brazilians, 1 Australian, so that's 4. You've got 24 Americans. So yeah, you've only got 1. So I'm sorry. It is what it is on that one. He's your only choice. Me, I haven't got any. You know what I mean? No English ones here at all. But then again, I don't expect any of them to be good at probably good at driving NASCAR, and B, staying up this late in the first place. So There we go.
Gonna say, isn't it like, even with the time difference, because you guys are only 4 hours ahead of us now because of daylight savings, it's still like we started at almost 2 o'clock for you.
Yeah, it's 2:35 in the morning, and then I've got to go and, well, I'm doing my fatherly duties after this. I can't even go to bed, so unfortunately. But I'll tell you more about that once we get this race up and running here as well. Dyson, Gidder, Joseph, Palladino. Is Palladino going to miss the start this time? Is he going to hold up that outside line once again? Here we go. He's gone again. He's gone again. Joseph is going to get the inside over Gidder. Gidder's got to come down. Block the runoff from Heitman. Heitman's trying to make a move as well. He's looked at and trying to get in the inside of Palladino. He's not going to get it this time. But Derek Heitman there didn't quite get the jump he wanted. Delaney, oh,
it's a big one. At least from what I heard on the radio.
Nick Shell. Oh, he got loose as well. The 63 was loose in front. He went and hit him. Not too dramatic. That was Ben Tracy and Nick Shell having a comment together. So now we're...
Have it on the right there.
4 course. I'm not quite sure how they ended up there. Is that Dustin Hall and Nicholas Pressey? Ah, look. And then they got stuck. There's nowhere for Pressey to go there. Oh. Not an ideal scenario for both of them guys. So there was quite a few involved in that one on lap 56. Hall was there, Pressey was there, Shell was there. So tough one as well for them guys. And Tracy was there. So there we go. But I suppose for Dyson's situation, he's got to, you know, he can get nestled in again now, can't he? He clearly has got the jump at the starts as Dyson. He's clearly got his way of getting away. And I think that's the thing. It's going to be tough for anybody to try and stop Dyson at this point on them restarts, I think.
Yeah, it's not going to be great for Getter either because, well, I mean, Joseph will be on the outside, thankfully. So unless, you know, he should be on the outside, provided that Dyson picks to start on the inside. But either way, Getter should just be right behind Dyson, so we shouldn't have Joseph to worry about too much. But Joseph has been really plowing through the field, up 25 positions already. So I wonder if Dyson is going to have to start worrying about that as well and make this a 3-way battle.
Maybe. Let's see. The more the merrier, that's what I say. The more battles, the merrier here as well. Peggles, you looking forward to the start of BSC? You know, we're going full calendar, full spread. I still can't get Armour to agree to 100% though. Did try, but he won't have none of it. And also as well, he still won't let me have Monza on the oval list. Bit of a shame.
I'm excited for the in-between season schedule. We have a couple of super formulas on that schedule, and I'm excited to drive them.
Well, yeah. The question is, do I drive? Nah, I'll be in bed at that point. You lot carry on. I'm going to have a well-deserved break, I think. Still planning to be 2 weeks off over Christmas.
Looking forward to Chicago Street Circuit. So is James, actually.
No,
you can
I'm not.
believe that. James is really excited.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not. That's one I've requested gets exchanged.
And to be fair, I think Armin has considered that.
Yeah. I think I could get I think we should exchange that one for Monza. I think that's what we should do. Monza Oval. So, yeah. Good Monza Oval instead of Chicago Street Circuit. That works for me.
To be fair, I owned Chicago Street Circuit because the schedule said Chicago, and I was like, well, the Street Circuit's new. That must be what they mean.
I don't even own that. So if he puts it on, I'll be like, there's no broadcast this week, mate. I'm not buying that circuit. Sorry, dude. I'm not buying it. All right, let's get this up here as well as we see the pace car going on the left-hand side for this very long back run pit entry. And see if Gidder can make the move this time around. You can see how close he is to the back end of Dyson. Let's see if this inside line, this is Gidder's opportunity. If Joseph missed the start on the outside there, Gidder's in with a good shout. Retaking his second with 30 away for the next stage. There we go, into the Geico restart zone. Well, Dyson did get a start, but I can tell you one thing, Joseph did not miss it. He comes down and ruthlessly takes the nose off Gidder there, leaves him no room at all. Palladino taps the wall on their way outside there with Derek Heitman also trying to run up the inside. John Delaney is well inside that line, on that apron line, and is now trying to make his way through once more. You can see everybody at the moment is through. I'm a bit worried for Dustin Hall from Team Connie. Is around the other side of the track map at the moment, so a bit tough for him. And then we've also got Nicholas Pressey in the pits as well, and has been in the pits for about 3.5 minutes as that young man. So unfortunately for Nicholas Pressey, they do have one fast repair. The interesting thing is, where is Adam Benefield? Is down in 13th here, Rhea, and nearly not too far off that halfway mark.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Presti just accidentally either used the fast repair or disabled it, and is just sitting there waiting for the tow and then waiting for the repair, which is going to be a nightmare. That is, I've done that myself, and it's one of the worst feelings, because there's really nothing you can do. They're fixing the car. You can't just take it out and come back in.
Yeah.
So, it is unfortunate, but that might be the case. He might also just be done, but I don't really think that'll happen.
Taylor giving Coelho a nice little bit of a hurry up there. Bump draft him up to that one, and now has managed to get the inside line for Taylor. He is sitting in 11th. One more place, dear, so you need to be able to get some points on the board in that next break. What about Gitter and Joseph? Palladino and Heitman are your top 5 here. Phoenix, it seems a different entity to some circuits. It's a different entity to Martinsville. You know, as much as Martinsville has caused havoc this week, and you know, from Friday last week as well, you know, we had an 11 caution run there, and then of course we went on the triple run and they had 14. It was Martinsville's caused a little bit of a problem this week for some of these drivers in these NASCAR series that we cover. So you know, I think they're all glad to get onto something a little bit more conventional. That's the word I'm looking for. Conventional oval, as Phoenix is described as. I think that's one of the things here, is defining between the D, the oval, the tri, the egg, you know, all of these other wonderful names that people call circuits. Phoenix looks a little bit more tougher on that one, I think, here, Rio. You know, there seems to be a lot more for these guys to have to start actually thinking about and taking control of.
Yeah, it's another one where it's definitely not as technical as Martinsville, that being one of the most technical tracks on the calendar, but it's a very different kind of line. As you see people going onto the apron to try and cut the corner, it's very atypical. It's not what you're used to with most NASCAR tracks. That being said, everybody here has actually been handling it quite well. We've only had 2 forced cautions, so not terrible. There definitely could have been a lot more, especially as we've seen the whole cautions breed cautions thing ring true. But overall, pretty consistent, pretty clean, so I'm happy with how they're going, and as long as they keep going on this path, it should be good.
You're a little bit optimistic there with your counting, young lady. I have 3 forced cautions on 1 stage break. Lap 1, 45 for the stage, 51 and 56.
Interesting. My brain is just being slow tonight.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Drop the caution.
Lap 1 was so long ago, probably that one. But no, there was Van der Zandt. Obviously, we had the Grass and Benefield one on lap 2. Then we had Van der Zandt going up into the wall with Harville on lap 51. And then the Hall, Pressey, Shell, Tracy interaction on lap 56. And then, of course, the stage on 45. So 3 forced, 1 not. So let's see if we can hold it anymore. You know, you're close on your under 5 limit here, Rhea. You're close.
Yeah, I'm still feeling pretty confident. We're 70 laps and it's not been too bad. Like I said, they've all been very consistent. So, well, especially.
Go on.
I was going to say, especially up at that front half where the whole pack, there's barely, I don't have the interval up right now, but it's less than a second between pretty much the entire, top 11? No, it looks like top 17.
Yeah, they're all quite close together. The gap, pretty much all the way down to Nick Shell in 21st is only 8 seconds to the leader, so they're not too far off anyone around them, of course, and I think that's one of the things that people get excited about with NASCAR is the very liney racing here. So it's an exciting circuit for an exciting time of 72 on the clock. We've still got 128 left here of Phoenix. Who's going to come out on top? We've got Gitter, we've got Taylor. They're all in the mix. We've got Benefield's in the top 8 as well. Taylor's in the top 10. Benefield in the 8th and Gitter sitting in 2nd. Gitter needs the points. That's the thing. Benefield's got to try and stop him, whether or not he can or not. Different story, but at the moment Benefield is trying to make his way past the pro of John Delaney, of course, from APX in that Chevy. Let's see what Benefield and Delaney can do here. This is going to be an interesting one between these guys. I think both of these are tough racers. Both of them know what they're going to be doing. Could be an interesting battle, this.
Yeah, the way Benefield was pushing through the whole field earlier, I'm kind of surprised he's down in 7th. It's really not bad, not at all. But I'm just surprised he's not taking away more positions. I wonder if he's just kind of laid back for a little while to not push the car too hard. Maybe just kind of, I mean, you do want those stage points though, so I don't know. Maybe just not completely comfortable with the setup. I know last week he mentioned, even though he did great, mentioned he wasn't happy with the setup, so it could be another repeat of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we know the car in front, of course, is John Delaney, who did speak to us on the stage break. He's got completely the wrong setup loaded and is feeling a little bit loose in that car. However, at the point he said that, he did lead the race by about 1.8 seconds. So, sometimes the wrong click of the button, is probably doing him more favours here. He does seem quick at Phoenix, I'm not gonna lie. Heitman has just tried to go and made that move as well with Benefield. And now Heitman is in front of Benefield at the moment. Joseph is still behind Gitter. He's still got Palladino, the Brazilian, pushing him along. Dyson's still doing a stellar job out in front. We're 14 away from the next stage, and then we got that straight one rear to the very end of the race. Who's going to come out on top? Well, guys, don't go anywhere, because this is still got a whole lot of racing to go at Phoenix. Let us know who you think is going to win. We know who Peggles is going to win already. Peggles thinks Dyson's going to take it. So you never know on that one. Me personally, I think Dyson's got a shot. And if Dyson is using this for tomorrow night, I think he's going to put himself in a great position to be able to go out and realise what his car's going to do, what it is going to do at certain points of the racetrack, what it's going to do over this first 200. Don't get me wrong, they've got another 126 on top of that. But I think for Andrew Dyson, this is a great load of practice for him and getting it in for tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. I did just want to bring up real quick how I've noticed a common theme in this league of thinking about it. A lot of the drivers seem to underestimate themselves. A lot of them seem to be upset with their position and their performance when they've done very, very well. Even last week, I believe, Gitter was running a great race and was like, oh, there's no way I have this. I'm not going to get this. And was just on fire for the entire race. So I think it's a common theme, and I just don't think they realize how good they are and how good the entire field is.
Yeah, I think sometimes that little bit of how can I put it? It's sort of
You are your own worst critic.
Yeah, self-confidence kind of situation. I think Carl Ammon is the first man into the pits. We are 10 away from stage. Sometimes self-confidence is always big for a sim racer, a sim driver. And if they feel that they're not happy in the car, or they feel they're not, something's not right, or they're not fully on it, then they'll turn around and say, yeah, I just weren't on it. This wasn't working for me. The car felt loose. It's almost going back to Days of Thunder, where Cole Trickle just went and pulled it into the pits when it didn't feel right. The engine blew up, and he blew it up up on his own. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them moments for sim racers. You've got to have that confidence. You've got to have that sort of self-belief to say that yes, you can do it. You know, and Joseph at the moment, he is sitting in that car thinking, I've definitely got this self-belief because I'm up 25 positions sitting in second at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a rocket this entire race. I was kind of curious if it was going to be a shootout with the top three, but Dyson's been able to pull away quite a bit. So at this point, I think Gitter and Joseph should think about working together just a little bit to try and make up that gap, but not sure how open they are to that, especially with Joseph having that kind of speed. You might just kind of try to pull away.
Delaney's another one as well in that 6. He's tucked up Gitter's, back end of Gitter's here as well. So for Delaney, he's going to have to now make that conscious decision whether or not he's going to sit there. Well, he answered the question for me before I'd even got there. He answered it for me before I'd even got to through on that one. Decided enough was enough for Delaney and went and took Gitter. Gitter's worst nightmare now, where he had 4 places gained over Benefield going into the last 6 of the stage. He's now only got 2 places. He's got, obviously, he's in 4th, Benefield's in 6th. So point-wise, not an ideal scenario for Adam Benefield. It might give him the opportunity to still be able to be there at the end, or there might need to be some adjustments at some point that he's got to work on in that car to be able to change to get the car to where he wants to do, because obviously his early run was, you know, great. He finished 3rd in stage 1. Not so lucky on this one, unfortunately. Looks like he's struggling a little bit as the car's gone longer here. So 5 to go before the end of stage 2, and this could be another vital one for these drivers on who's going to score what points.
Yeah, and you can see watching Benefield's car, it looks like it does get a little, not quite loose, but just a little squirrely there on some of the exits. I would say loose, but he seems to have it under control real well. I think it may just be not quite set up for the longer runs. Maybe he was predicting more of the short runs, a few more cautions here and there.
But I don't... It's a tough one with this caution situation, and I think you can look at a circuit sometimes and decide that actually, you know, we're not going to get... I don't think Phoenix, you know, is going to breed cautions, for instance, because sometimes the way the makeup and sometimes the way the drivers run the circuit, you know, Martinsville, it didn't matter what league we were in this week, you know, for Martinsville, there was 11 for these guys who are expert top drivers, and there was 14 for triple bypass who very rarely have cautions, minimum maybe probably an average of 2 all season, you know, and they've struggled at Martinsville. But I think if you look at Phoenix in a way that this racetrack delivers what it delivers, and it delivers it well, I think that you can look at a circuit and say, actually, I don't think we're going to get this mass caution fest that we've had previously. The ones that we have had here, you know, a tap from Grass to Benefield on lap 1, then Van der Zandt having a weird and wonderful snap into the wall that collected Harville, and then you had the whole Pressy, Shell and Tracy incident where Tracy got loose, then Shell got loose trying to, Hall got loose trying to avoid him, and then Shell and Tracy, and then it all went a little bit Pete-Tong from there. So although the mistakes have happened, they have just been that. They've just been mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, you're very right. I don't see why you wouldn't set up for a long run here. So I wonder if maybe it's just... I don't know. It's really hard to say why Benefield hasn't been as... I don't want to say... It's hard to pick the words because I don't want to make it sound like he's not doing well, because he's definitely doing well. Just maybe not as well as he would like to be doing, especially with the points as they are at the moment. So I wonder if maybe it's just not enough time spent on the track and maybe not enough time with the setup, just still trying to feel it out in the middle of the race. It is a shame to see, but unfortunately that is just kind of how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, we are going to get another caution very shortly. That will be the end of stage lap 90 as we wait. There it is. Thank you very much. And we've got Dyson, Joseph, Delaney, Gitter. So Gitter got 4th this time. Benefield got 7th. Taylor Manick got the 1 again, just in 10th place. So Gitter sitting in 4th, gives him 7. Benefield sitting down in 7th, gives him 4. So total scores on the doors 9-4-5 for Benefield and 9-3-3 for Gitter. So we pulled out another 3 points. So he started today on 9. He started 18. He pulled out 3 on the first stage. And then he got 3 on the next one, so that's 6. So he has brought it down to 12. So great job there from Gitter. Let's see what he can do here as well. I think Taylor's chances have gone. I think he needed both stage wins here, Rhea, to give himself an opportunity.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Once you lose that first one, not necessarily lose, once you don't pull it out for that first one, you just kind of get in your head, and I wonder if he's just been fighting, trying to keep the car where he wants to do. A little bit of a lockup from Dyson there going into the pit stall, but he made it. He got it in there, and those tires don't matter anymore. They're coming off anyway. But yeah, I wonder if Taylor was just struggling with the car, and then once you're in your own head about it, you just kind of start to lose pace, thinking, where am I losing the pace? Is it here? Let me try it. And you lose more and more, and it just doesn't help you.
Yeah, let's have a quick chat with Andrew Dyson, your stage 2 victor. Andrew, welcome in, dear sir. How are you? Ooh, Andrew is muted. The question is...
How about yourself?
Hello, mate.
I had my mic muted.
Yeah, you did. How are you doing out there?
Yeah, pretty good. Feels pretty good out here. It's a bit hot, a bit slippery, but we're working on it, so it's all right.
Setup wise, you're good for long runs, you're good for short runs. We haven't had a massive amount of cautions. You know, where you sat at the moment?
I tried to kind of gear the car to a long run that stage. Worked on it a little bit at the end of the first stage, and then we started having all those cautions. I thought, well, this isn't going to look too good if we keep getting all these cautions, but it's been pretty good, man. I mean, I plugged in the Ryko set for the first race I did this week, and it's been working for me really well. So I'm sticking with it, and yeah, like I just needed a little tweak back there, and it seems pretty good. So hopefully I can stay somewhere around the front and give myself a shot at the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely as well. It's going to put you in good stead for tomorrow's race, mate. You know, do you use these races as practice races?
Yeah, absolutely I do. But for whatever reason, I seem to blow it on Sundays for me, Saturdays for everybody else around the world. But yeah, I need to get my head around the Sunday morning stuff, and I should be all right. But yeah, hopefully I can at least... hopefully this does bode well for tomorrow anyway.
Well, I hope it does as well, dear sir, because I did watch Martinsville, as I say, on my Sunday morning, sat in bed with my cup of tea and toast, hoping that you were going to pull off a double across the whole weekend, but let's see what you can do tomorrow. I think you seem to have that car set up. Will you make any changes, Andrew, or will you just sit back and think, do you know what, I'm not touching that car now, I'm leaving it, that worked well for me, that's it?
I'm pretty happy with how it is at the moment, so yeah, I don't think I need to make any more changes, but we'll see what the track does here.
All right, man. Well, I'll pop you back in. The lights are off on the pace car. Good luck, bud, and hopefully speak to you later down in Victory Lane.
Fingers crossed, man. Thanks.
Take care. All right, there we go. We'll put Dyson back in. Make sure I put him in the right room, of course. Otherwise, I've just dropped him somewhere completely random. I have dropped him in the right place. Dyson is going to be the front runner. Tell Andy we believe it. Oh, sorry, Peggles, missed that one. I'll get him in a minute. Well, maybe not in a minute because I don't want to disturb him straight away. But, if we have any more cautions here as well. So let's see how we get on. Dyson taking that stage. Gitter's only 12 points back now. He's sitting in 5th. Benefield is right behind him. Your 2 championship contenders. Dyson's bolted again. He has got off to a flyer. Joseph coming with him there. Benefield is on that very long inside line. We've got John Delaney just running around the apron at the moment. Not entirely sure how legal that is. As Benefield looks at giving him a break and letting him come back onto the circuit. Rules and regs on that one, I'm not too sure if that is completely allowed.
Yeah, I don't think that's... Oh, well, I say I don't think. That's not really something you're allowed to do that far for. But I wonder if it was more of a safety thing. I wonder if he knew he couldn't get back up on the track with all the cars running where they were and just didn't want to force his way up there and cause a caution. So if I was race control, I'd probably turn a blind eye towards it.
Well, Gitter is managed to stay in front of Benefield. Benefield now down in 7th, Gitter in 4th. This is the straight run to the end now, guys. There is no more cautions. We are race end here. Lap 200 will be the final break. So let's see how these guys get on. And Patrick Gitter at the moment staying with Andrew Dyson. Joseph has looked so strong, hasn't he? He's looked so strong. We're up 26 places. He just seems to be on a complete different level here. He seems so consistent, so strong, so fast, and to gain what he has gained by lap 99 as we're going into the second half now, it's exceptional.
Yeah, he's made that car look like a bullet this entire race. He's really been pushing it, and he's already starting to form a bit of a gap, which is really impressive, especially down the straight. So I wonder if that'll unsettle anybody behind him, making him wonder how he's that fast. And, where am I losing that time? Can I make it up? And you just, again, you get in your head about it and you start losing more time.
Well, I don't think Joseph is really gonna, I don't know. He's just got to run what he's been running for the whole entire race. I don't think there's any underestimation of what he can do. He clearly here is showing that he's got pace. He's clearly showing that he's quick enough. For Joseph, it's just maintain it, open up the gap if he can. Gitter's got to try and stay with Dyson. He doesn't want to get into that, start dropping down to that bottom end of the top 10. Doesn't want to lose position to Palladino. He can't afford to go down to Heitland, Delaney, because then he's dropping into the hands of Benefield. But Gitter's performance at the moment, he's kind of lost it in that second half, or if you split it into 4 quarters, that second quarter here, because he seems to be struggling. The early run seemed fine. The second part of this race doesn't seem as much pace as he had the first time.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just not enough practice or not happy with the setup. He's doing really well. I think he might still have a chance, especially if he plays his cards right here during the last stage. You have to assume there's not going to be a caution in a race like there isn't going to be. Obviously, one would help, but don't rely on that. So I would say maybe try to save tires a little bit and see where you are at the end of the race. See if you can maybe pull something out of your hat there.
Yeah, I fully agree. You've just got to be a little bit careful. Robert Anderson has just come in and said it's completely allowed. I presume we're talking about running around the bottom of the apron as John Delaney did so well, mind you, there. So apparently they can run round the apron, which is a little bit strange, as we saw what happened to the Williams team at Daytona. So there we go.
Yeah, I believe you're allowed to down the straights, but not on the corners, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, there we go. We'll leave you to fight that one out. Gitter now has got hold of Dyson. Dyson, we know he's set up for the longer runs. We know he's going to be working on that car to try and get it set up ready for tomorrow. And he is doing an absolutely stellar job here. So let's see how he can get on and how he's doing as well, because if Dyson is going to be good practice, I think any practice is good practice for the Australian. And Gitter now, it looks like he's got a little bit more bit between his teeth, a little bit more grah, and he's having a good old go here.
Yeah, they've all been very close and racing very hard this entire race, so it's definitely, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I'll leave it there. It's a great race, and I'm happy to be watching it. I'll leave it there.
Oh, let's see, diplomatic there as well as Gitter runs up the inside of Dyson now with Palladino right behind him as well. This could turn into something that we don't want to see. Could it get ugly? But Dyson and Gitter maintaining that side-by-side motion at the moment. Gitter has gone all the way to the left, taking as much as he's physically allowed. A little bit of a wall tap from Dyson there. Palladino's looking at trying to come under the inside, following Gitter's line. He's going to string Dyson out. Unfortunately, it looks like Dyson could end up losing another position if Palladino can just get that run on the inside, which he has done here. And for Dyson, if he's not careful, Heitman's going to be coming through. Delaney is going to be coming coming through. He could lose some positions here unless he can lock that door off and shut it off at the moment, because he's still sitting on the outside line rear.
Yeah, he's actually dropped back a little bit, which not great for where he is right now, but sorry, Dyson's dropping back a little bit, which not great for where he is, but again, could still pull something out of the hat. Everybody here quite a bit away from Joseph, but could still pull quite a bit of time, especially if they work together like they are kind of now. They're going down a bit low, and unfortunately Palladino not following to keep up that draft, but not the worst thing in the world in the corners. It'll help a lot more down the street here. You'd like to see some bump drafting between them right now to try and make up some time on Joseph, but maybe just not running at the same pace, not getting enough of a draft down that straight. Like we did say before, it's not as powerful here as somewhere as like Daytona or Talladega, or, you know, the super speedways.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I think that's one of the things. It's just staying really with your person in front. You know, the likes of Nick Schell and Dustin Hall, they've obviously dropped off there and unfortunately down. You can see 25th of Nicholas Pressey is kind of left out in the middle of nowhere. 23rd of Ryan Adams is another man that's left out in the middle of nowhere. And Joseph is just saying, well, thank you very much. I'm having some of this. You know, he's 1.95 seconds ahead at the moment. He's doing an absolute stellar job. Been quick all the way through the race, up 26 places, coming into the last 85, almost ready to go here. But Joseph, it's looking like he's just pretty much got this wrapped up.
Yeah, especially coming from 26 places back to coming all the way up to first and building up that gap. I don't know that there's really much that can be done. It's really just a game of strategy at this point, and the pace that he has kind of makes it seem like no strategy is really going to catch him. So at this point, it may just be a race for a second.
Yeah, and at the moment, the man that's in that place is Patrick Gitter. So let's see, he's done his best over the last two stages. He's got 15 out of 20. Now goes in with a 12-point deficit over Adam Benefield. And if we're looking at it now, if this race ended right where we are at the moment, it would put Gitter on 9.68. And Benefield is in 7th, so 33, 32, 31. And at the moment, Benefield would be on 9.76, so still not enough for Patrick Gitter. He really needs to go out and take that win. That loss of 5 points right at the beginning is a little bit of a killer for him. Taylor is looking like he's completely out of this in that Ford at the moment, and he's sitting down in 15th place. So I think for Taylor, it's more of a trying to consolidate what he has got compared to trying to challenge for what he hasn't got. Tanner Marty looking at making that move out there under Jordan Pearson. A great move there as well for Tanner Marty, and up the inside he goes. Is he going to be able to hold it though? That's going to be the question as he runs that completely line underneath the apron line. Up the inside he's going to be going into turn 3 now as well. It is Marty is going to go through, and all the while this has been fighting on, this has been raging on, and Joseph is now opened up the gap to 2.5 seconds. Wow. Who's going to catch him, Ria? That's going to be the question. Who's going to catch Joseph?
Honestly, I don't think anybody is. How many points did you say that Benefield would have if we stopped right now?
9.76.
7.6. Yeah, so not only would Gitter need to take first place, he would also need Benefield to drop a couple of places as well. So at that point, it's not even just a race between him and him and Benefield. It's a race between him, Benefield, and whoever can put Benefield up back a bit further.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You need Benefield to be, I'm not saying you want him, you know, dropped or whatever, but you need him back a little bit. Gitter's got it. I think the biggest problem for Gitter is not the fact that he's sitting in second, right? Because that's great, he's sitting in second. It's the fact that that 5-point deficit between first and second, 40 for a win, 35 for second place. If it went 40-39, it wouldn't be so bad, but it doesn't. It goes 40-35. So he instantly loses 5.4 points, technically, if you should have come down in 39s. But he's now got to try and find a way through of A, catching Joseph, and B, passing Joseph, because everything Joseph has done, he's done solo. He hasn't got Palladino pushing him along, or he hasn't got Dyson trying to chase him, or Heitman. He's done this gap, and he's got this gap completely solo. So for a man to do this completely solo, everybody else has got to be sitting there in their cars right now going, I'm a little bit of afraid here, because for a man to pull out that solo already on his own, well, yeah, I would worry if I was in these cars.
Yeah, especially with the gap that he's managed to pull out. Even Gitter, who's doing great, has to be wondering what is different about our setups. How is he that far ahead? There's got to be something massive that I'm missing. So yeah, it's just crazy, like you said, how far he's pulled ahead on his own. It'll be interesting to see if we go green the whole time, what the end gap will be if he manages to, keep the strategy working properly. That being said, no bad calls with the tires or going in for fuel or anything like that. So it'd definitely be interesting to see what the gap would be.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. How's he going to cope? Obviously, pit lane entry as well. We've seen how long the pit lane entry is here. He's going to have that option to go in, get that car stopped completely solo if he really wants to, and still make it out before anybody else. Because I think if one jumps, the rest of them will jump, and it's like anything. Yes, I'm not saying they're sheep, and I'm sure if Joseph was on the edge of a cliff and everybody else jumped, they're not going to jump behind him. Lina Palladino, go, Pedro. Now, I'm not going to. I presume Pedro Lino is your friend, okay? Brother, let's go with that one as well. Because I definitively know sometimes whether or not I should say things, Rio. And there are times when I just do split things out, so, you know what I mean?
There are times when you say, oh, it looks like the girlfriend, and it's the mother.
Yes. Yes, like the other day.
Yeah.
So, we won't say anything.
To be fair, we can't know that stuff.
No, but I'm not, we're not...
Omniscient.
Yeah, no, I'm not psychic, am I? Let's be real. I'm not a psychic. So
the tone about you, please don't pull me into the steward's room for talking about the people joining the chat.
Yeah, my son, I did him. Oh, you made him? Yeah, 19 years ago. Oh, okay, so Pedro's your boy. That's fine. That was well. My sister was called my girlfriend by James too. Oi! See, this is why sometimes I really necessarily need to think before I speak, and I don't always do it successfully, I'm not going to lie. So, there we go. Let's pick up and see what's going on with Danilo Canelo further down in 17th. He's batting away with Nick Alford. Haven't really seen much of these two. Alford's got a little bit out of shape and put that in the wall there. Coelho is trying to go up the inside, one of the free Brazilian contingency, along with Lucas Abreu and, of course, Pedro Palladino. So, there we go. 3 Brazilians here tonight battling it out for this, in this race at Phoenix, which I think is absolutely amazing. Taylor, top 12 at the moment. It's, I think Taylor's now just sitting there residing himself saying, okay, well, I think enough is enough. I'm just going to, go stay where I am, I think, for him.
Yeah, maybe just use the rest of the race to practice, try and start trying different things, seeing where the car needs to be adjusted and where it does well. Because at this point, like you said, he's out of the running for this, so it wouldn't really be detrimental as long as he doesn't slide the car into anybody else or anything as he touches the wall there. So yeah, maybe just not comfortable with the setup, unfortunately.
I think so. As well, I believe that's probably what Taylor's issue could be there. There's a lot of swapping between Pearson and Coelho at the moment. They are running side by side as we're on 128 here of Jordan Pearson, who just successfully last time out at Martinsville finished in third. He doesn't look like he's quite going to get that luck here that he looks like he would get, as he is trying to go around the outside of Coelho coming into free here. So let's see what these guys are able to do and whether or not they're going to be able to start moving their way forward. We've had a very long run here where stage break was back on 90. We're already nearly 40 laps above that one. So let's hope that we can keep this up, because these guys are doing a stellar job here.
Yeah, they definitely are, and right now it's just kind of that settle in and count down the laps and stay focused part of the race, where there's not, I mean, towards the mid-pack there's a lot more action than is happening up front, especially with Joseph Subra down the road and the gap between Dyson and Bateman opening up a bit further. So right now it's just, you know, Joseph in his own race, Gitter, Palladino, Dyson in their own race, and then groups of a couple of cars back behind them, and there seems to be about 3 groups right now, so everybody's kind of running their own little race right now with how spread out the field has gotten, and I think that's going to be the case for a while until we see some maybe green flag pit stops.
I think so. I think this could be running for a long period of time now. They seem to be doing a stellar job at what some can deem a very tricky circuit. So, but these guys are making this circuit look really straightforward, and Joseph is making this circuit look even easier here as well. He just looks like he's just absolutely dominating. He's got this car where he needs it. He's got it set up, and he's doing an amazing job, isn't he? Let's be real about it.
Yeah, he's I don't know if he tapped the wall there. It was hard to see. It looked like he may have just been hugging it real close, maybe a little top, but the way he's been driving that car in the track makes it look so effortless, how it just flows through the racing line. And he's really been pulling out even more time every lap. And it just goes to show that consistency is really the key in pretty much all disciplines of racing.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think it's consistent. And it's always been consistency that gets you to where you get to. And I know that sounds a pretty almost dumb, counterproductive thing to say, but if you're not consistent and you're crashing out, and you're in, you're out, you're up, you're down, you're all around the place, you're never going to get anywhere, you know. And that's the thing, you've got to have that consistency, haven't you, to be able to successfully be able to stay where you are.
Even if you're consistently 5 seconds slower, you're consistent, and then you have a point to start working from. If you're inconsistent every lap and going off the side of the track and overshooting turns and under braking, then you're not going to have a baseline to start working from. So it really helps to be consistent, like I said, in every discipline, because then you just have that baseline of, oh, I'm 5 seconds down, but I'm consistently 5 seconds down. Here's where I'm losing my time.
Yeah, but at least then you can pinpoint an area, can't you? I think that's the thing. You can pinpoint and say, right, I need to work on this. As we can see, Alex Van Zandt running that inside line there as well. Matt DiCiani on the outside. In that number 4, these two having a side-by-side run. Lucas Abreu is just not too far in the background. Anna Benefield sitting in 6th. He has gained another position, so that cuts it down a little bit further here. He needs to be 12 points back from Gitter. So Gitter's in 2nd at 35. So technically, Benefield needs to be 12 points back. He needs to be down in 40.
Yeah, which just doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a big ask. That is a big ask by anybody's standards. So, you know, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for anybody, unless of course he does something crazy, pit stop, speeding in the pit lane. It could be a number of things here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the hardest thing in the world to pick up a penalty for overspeeding in pit lane, or, you know, I've had that happen to me so many times where you just accidentally go over by just a tiny bit and boom, instantly 40-second penalty, which could change the entire race here.
Yep, that's the thing, isn't it? 40 seconds, stop, go, done. And
that's more than a lap here.
Yeah, can you imagine the likes of Gitter or Benefield, where that would put them? That would be at least 1.5 laps down, because being that we're only on a 29 lap time at the moment, 40 seconds would be damaging for any of these people. 1:40 going to be coming up very shortly. There it is, 60 to go here at Phoenix. And it's looking, if Benefield stays where he is, it's going to be Adam Benefield's title here this season as well. 31 races. It's all come down to this. And it's looking like Benefield could get it. Even with Gitter being some places in second, it isn't enough. Benefield needs to be down in 14th to override that gap he's got at the moment. And it is a 12-point gap. So, yeah, it's going to be tough now for Gitter, I think.
If you're Benefield at this point, do you continue to push and try and make more positions up, or you just take it easy and kind of sit back and go, yeah, I'm as far up as I think I'm realistically going to get. Maybe I just kind of chill for the rest of the race and not push the car too hard, make sure I bring it home in one piece.
I would chill.
Yeah,
I would chill. I would just clock off laps, to be honest. Stay within the top 10. You know you've got to be a certain amount of places behind him now. You know they've got to be certain 10 or 12 places back. I would chill. It's all on Gitter. I think that's the thing. Right now, it's all on Patrick Gitter. He's got to find speed somewhere. Where? I don't know. Where can he get it from? I don't know. He clearly isn't quite running where he wants to be running, to the pace that he wants to be pacing at, but he needs to be going somewhere, and he isn't going anywhere. You know, and the thing is as well, is what is he going to do coming on to 143? That back marker's not going to help. I can tell you that much. That is not going to help. Who is that? That's Nicholas Pressey in front here. Obviously, you know, different rules to track rules, Peggles, before you have a go at me about blue flags. Don't even start. So let's see what Pressey does here. I mean, from Gitter's point of view, he could do with holding up Dyson just a little bit, because at the moment, Heitman's closing up on him as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though, with Gitter, I mean, he's not going to know exactly where Benefield is while he's in the car, but if he does get that information relayed to him in some way, you think, he's pulling the trigger for the pit stop, so he's the first one in. He might be trying to do a little bit of an undercut.
Well, he's going to try and do something as Patrick Gitter. Let's see what he can muster and manage up here. Damaris Hingerbottom and Wayne Grass, of course. Grass involved in that lap 1 caution with Adam Benefield. Spun him round, sent him all the way to the back as Hingerbottom's looking on the left. He's going to try and run that outside line going into turn, or out of turn 4, I should say. And it looks like Damaris could get it here if he just tries to carry a little bit more speed. Doesn't quite get it. I think he's going to get it on the exit coming into turn 1. And again, he doesn't. Wayne Grass gets it again. But that's dropped Patrick Gitter all the way down into 17th place at the moment. That's where he is currently. Almost nearly coming out where he is over a lap down. But he is back up and running and comes out in front of Chad Keeby. So Keeby is behind him in 13th place. Gitter is 17th, half a lap back as well at the moment, nearly a lap back at the moment. So now he's got to wait for everybody else to go in rear, and hopefully he'll be able to climb as much as he possibly can here.
Yeah, the worst thing that could happen right now would be a yellow flag. A caution would just end Gitter's race, unfortunately. So hopefully we don't see that before people start pulling the trigger for the green flag pit stops. But it is very possible, especially in oval racing.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a green flag pit stop. The last thing you want is a yellow flag when you've just made your green flag pit stop. Especially as the fact that everybody else is going to get that free stop. You know what I mean? You will get the lap back as such, because I think he is sitting in the final lap position. So obviously Lucky Dog on the waiver rounds and stuff. So let's see how he gets on. He's just got to make moves one pace at a time. Kiwi's now in the pit, so that's going to be another one that Gidda's going to move as well. Straight past him, Lucas Abreu there on the right hand side is up in front of him. That's 8th place. Gidda is now trying to clear Dicciani, who again is in 7th place. So at the moment he's clocking off the people that he needs to get past, but he also needs them to go into the pits here and start really trying to help his fight.
Yeah, he is making his way back through the field, but at the same time he's having to pass people that are on older tires and already not on the same pace that he is. Meanwhile, you have people like Dyson and Hypeman up at the front who, yes, they're on old tires, but they're not contending with back markers as much, so they're really going to be able to pull quite a bit of a not a huge gap, but they should be able to make up a little bit of time if Gidda's constantly being held back. Joseph into the pit now, though. So yeah, people up the front are starting to pull that trigger for the green flag cautions.
Yeah, it's how close can get us there. Joseph is still in the pits. It's how close is he going to be able to get to Joseph? Can he jump him? That's going to be the question. Joseph's on his way out. Where is Gidda? Oh, I don't think he's going to have enough. I don't think he's going to have enough. I really don't. I think Joseph's going to get him. Gidda's still trying to come. There goes Dyson at the top. Where are you? Oh, he is coming. He's coming.
He might have it.
He might have it. He has got him.
He's got it.
He got Joseph in the pit run. So could this put Gidda back up to the front? He obviously had a couple of barnstorming laps. Once he went into that pit, that out lap was imperative that he made it, and he clearly looked like he did. There's a couple of others still in the pits as well. Dyson's now in. Benefield's in. How far is Benefield going to go down the order? We know he come in at 7. Where is he going to go, and how far is he going to go? And we'll see how far he does end up going. If he goes down to 14th, Gidda's going to be sitting there laughing.
Yeah, this could change the race for Gidda. I honestly thought Gidda was being held up a little bit more, especially on the straights. It looked like he was stuck behind a couple of cars here and there. Not for too long, but enough that I thought it would make more of a difference. But, man, he really pulled a great outlap. And if he managed to make up as much time as it looked like he made when Joseph came out of the pits, he might have pulled it over on Benefield. We'll have to see where he comes out.
Oh, where's Lucas Abreu? There he is. Where's Ben Tracy? There he is. He's in that 14th slot. Oh. This could be interesting.
This became a completely different race all of a sudden.
He's down in that 14th slot. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Benefield's going to stay there. I think Tracy and a few others, Lucas Abreu, he's going to be where he can get as far as Dyson. I think Dyson's going to be the stopping point for him. If Grass takes the win, that nullifies them 5 points anyway, the gap difference, because he's going to gain 5 more. So for Gidda at the moment, he's doing a stellar job. Grass is in now as well. I think Gidda could be your on-track leader by the time this all settles down. Benefield's going to gain another position over Tanamadi. He has. That's put him in 12th. 14th, still 2. It's possible. It's possible. I'd have to do some quick maths to work it out.
Joseph's going to make the pass.
There he is. It's looking like it as well. It didn't take Joseph very long to get him back, though, did it?
No, he gets down on that apron so quickly. He's already right on his bumper.
Yeah, that's quite a scary maneuver, the fact that Joseph has got there so quick. Don't get me wrong, he is on a few lap old tyres, younger tyres, 11 laps in fact, but Joseph's now gone through. You don't really want that to be happening, Patrick. You need to come and challenge him. Give him a go.
He's going for it.
Yeah, he's going to have to. He needs that extra 5 as to where Benefield is at the moment. I think that's the thing. He's going to need them extra 5 because Benefield's in where? 10th at the moment, isn't he? 10th? Yeah, 10th. So 40. So he's going to be on 35. But 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27 is Benefield at the moment. Gidder is sitting in 4th, expected to be 2nd by the time Taylor and Van der Zandt goes in, so he's going to be on 35. Still not enough. Not enough. 968. Ooh. He's on the same as he was last time. And for Benefield, he's going to be on 467, same 472. So the gap's still the same currently as it is at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gidder rubbing up against the wall a little bit here and there. I think he's just struggling to stay with Joseph, and he's gotta follow that line, get down on the apron as soon as Joseph does, and learn that fast line that he's taking. Because as you can see, Joseph gets down on the apron very early. Gidder, there we go. Gidder's starting to follow suit and he take that line for himself now. See if he can make it work for himself.
Yeah, I would just at this moment in time follow Joseph round.
Yep.
Follow him round, learn off the back of him, see how he is getting that pace so much more, see where he's making that improvement. You know, that's what I would look at doing. One man that didn't come out of the pit stops very well is Andrew Dyson. He's sitting in 7th at the moment. Of course, he was our stage 2 victor. That seemed such a long time ago, almost 70 laps ago. It was 70 laps ago, in fact, as well. He has now dropped down into 7th place here. So, unfortunately for him, it's not looking too clever. For Gidder, it isn't looking too clever either, as they put a lap on Demaras. Gidder has already lost that 2nd to Joseph already. I don't like my chances.
He's so lightning quick tonight.
Yeah, I don't like his chances at the moment. But Patrick Gidder, I think it's just going to be too far back.
Yeah, not to mention, even if he was in first, he would still need Benefield to be down a little bit further.
Yeah, Benefield needs to be down in 14th, I think it is. I think that was the rough gap. He's got, what's he going to have at the moment? He's 933, 945, 12 points back. Instead, if he had that 5-point gain by taking the win, then he would have obviously put himself in a better position. Benefield sitting, you know, in the top 10 might have been a little bit more of assistance for him because he would have had the 5-point gain from the win. But it doesn't look like he's going to get that. It's Joseph, you know, 1.4 seconds ahead now as well. So, and that's not counting out Van der Zandt and Taylor. This is counting out to the point of where obviously these guys, well, there we go. Van der Zandt's just about to go in. Taylor's still managing. He's going to take the overall, but by the time this all pans out, he's going to be down the order. Joseph's going to get Van der Zandt. Gitter's going to get Van der Zandt. There they go already. So they are basically the on-track leaders, Joseph and Gidder at the moment. I think that's the thing, Rio. We have to remember that the pit stop cycle kind of does mix them up, but when they all come back out, they're all pretty much in the same position they are when they went in, apart from, as I say, one Mr. Andrew Dyson, who seems to have lost a lot of time in that pit cycle run.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jedi Taylor, as you said, effectively Joseph and Gidder are your leaders, which means that Taylor being caught up is going to be down almost with the length of pit road, probably about 2 laps after it goes for his tires.
Yeah, I've got to have him. Well, we got Van der Zandt in 16th. I've got a fairly. Oh, Dyson there put Pressey up against the wall. Ouch. Nick Pressey there is probably not going to be overly impressed, but Dyson just turned around and went, well, I'm not being rude, mate, but get out of the way, and just nearly put him rubbing straight into the wall. Joseph has already caught Taylor, and this is before Taylor's had his pit stop. So, Taylor's going to be down in 15th, 16th, 17th place by the end of this, I think. So, it's going to be tough for Taylor to do anything from here. Is been slipping further and further out of it. Gidder's now coming at him as well. So Gidder now having a go. And he's going to be coming up to Taylor very, very shortly. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised Taylor hasn't gone in for tires or anything like that yet. that's clearly the last pit stop people haven't needed to pit for. I think the last one going off Taylor's, it was lap 92. So over 60 laps. Or actually, yeah, because people were pitting around lap 150-ish. So over 60 laps per pits, per set of tires, I should say. So this would be the last pit stop for most people. So I'm surprised Taylor has waited so long to pull the trigger. There's no real benefit in the overcut right now.
Yeah, unless he's just trying something different. I don't know what he would be trying, but at the moment we can probably safely say that Adam Benefield, who's also going to have that that Taylor slot as well, so he's going to put himself into sixth. It's looking like it's going to be, you know, Benefield's championship. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It is looking like Adam Benefield is going to take this championship here tonight, because I just don't think that Gitter's got the pace to get Joseph. Joseph is looking unstoppable, and Benefield is going to benefit from Taylor pitting very shortly, I would have thought, here as well. So Adam Benefield looking like he's probably wrapped this one up.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is maybe Taylor isn't going to pit, but the pace he has right now, that there's no good outcome from that. You're not really... I'd be surprised if he stays within the top 15 with these sets of tires for the next 30 laps. There's no way running those to the end would be a good idea. I don't even know if he would have the fuel to do that in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't think he's going to be able to get to the end. So let's see what happens. I think that's literally all we can do, and hope for the best and see where he gets on here. But it's been a tough race for some of these guys. Pedro Palladino still battling away with Derek Heitman there for the top four. I was going to say to stay in the top five then as well. So Pedro Palladino will deserve to be where he is. He's up 8 places, and another one who's gone quietly above his business. There goes Taylor down even further. Well, he definitely ain't got into the pits this time around, Rhea, and it's going to be very tough for him to try and settle in now, because surely he's got to be bringing that car in, because he could just see these places dropping off, can't he?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think is he's trying to go to the end on those tires. But again, I don't know that you would have the fuel for that. You'd be cutting it pretty close. And the pace difference, I can't see him finishing on the lead lap with these tires if he doesn't pit. So I wonder why he just hasn't pulled the trigger yet.
Don't really know. Can't answer that question, to be fair. He's done something completely out of the ordinary that nobody else has done. Everybody else around him has pitted. So, yeah, and your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. So, there we go. But we've still got Joseph out in front now by 4.3 seconds. And then we've got Gitter, who is a further 3.15 seconds ahead of Heitman, Palladino, Dyson. Benefield's... contact between Palladino and Heitman there. Heitman got a big old slide on. Now Dyson's looking at coming underneath Palladino. Palladino's been stuck, well, not stuck, I should say, with Heitman and Dyson all the way through. They're going to be side by side coming over the line. There is Dyson in the orange on the right. There is Heitman on the, well, right-hand side now. As you look at the screen, he's on the left now. Let's see in that 76 car whether or not Derek... don't squeeze him, Derek. Don't squeeze him. They're going to be still. Dyson settles back in behind him, but Heitman did get definitely close there.
Yeah, it was very close to the door. I thought they... Honestly, the way they were coming back up on the track, it looked like they might start getting a little loose, but they kept that under control very well and gave us a really good battle. Yeah,
definitely. I think that's one of the things that we're looking forward to on these very long runs there. So very tough for some of these guys racing this circuit, and Dyson definitely was going for it. It looked like Heitman got his elbows out there as well. While we are coming in to this final 23 laps remaining. Don't forget, the Championship Saturday will be dedicated to the memory of Coben Jimmy Johnson. 100% will be celebrating life on the broadcast. For the newer folks that aren't familiar with Jimmy's story, you can learn more about the remarkable young man, his family, and his fight against, I would try and say that, Robodomi Sarcoma here as well. So if you want to go and have a look and read more about Jimmy and what he stood for, you can there as well. Coben Jimmy Johnson, go and have a look. That is their GoFundMe that will tell you the story of that young man who unfortunately lost his battle in 2022. But please go and have a read. This is a Saturday that will be dedicated to him as well. Love to have a big field of Jimmy Strong supporting cars for Phoenix. If we can, it will, be absolutely amazing for Saturday. So the championship race will be dedicated to Coben Jimmy Johnson, who, as you say, lost his battle unfortunately back in 2022. But you can go check out the GoFundMe and read all about it as well. And I'm sure if you have got a few bucks or a few pounds, donations will be always appreciated. Let's just put it that way. So get yourselves on that one, guys, as well. Thank you so much for being here this evening. We're coming into the last 20. Tanamai having a nice little Charlie battle with Chad Keeby as they come into these last 20 here, Rhea.
Yeah, Jedi Taylor has been into the pits. I thought about it. He may have been hoping for a yellow flag, but even then, I don't think he really would have made too many positions from that. I definitely don't think he would have been in points that would matter for him. So, unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say, his race is kind of over at this point. But I'm glad to see that he's still on track. There's still a lot to be learned by finishing the race.
Yeah, definitely there as well. Tanamati and Alec Vanderzand nose to tail here with Taylor. That is, of course, his back marker. He is on fresher tyres. He should just go breezing past these guys. I do love family support in YouTube chat there as well. From Lino, who says, Pedro Palladino don't have fingers anymore. So, and that's in conjunction with his son here, who's sitting in 6th place. Just lost a place to Adam Benefield in, so Benefield now takes it up into 5th. I think this is definitely Benefield's championship. There's no way he's going to be losing this unless Palladino goes and puts him in a wall or spins him around the wrong way or whatever. 17 to go. Benefield's going to wrap this one up. Joseph looks like he's going to wrap up the win there as well. Joseph, it's just been unstoppable. Like, I've never seen somebody dominate so much on a circuit as he has here. 6.5 seconds, Rhea.
Yeah, and that's after coming out behind Gitter from the pit stops and starting 26 places back at the beginning of the race. It's crazy the pace he's had here. It really goes to show just how good these drivers can really be with a good setup and consistency. So it's definitely been, usually, I don't want to say complete shutout, but usually, a gap this big isn't all that interesting to watch, but it actually has been, just to see how much further he can pull that gap. It's already 7 seconds between him and Gitter, which is astounding, especially in oval. That is a ton of time when you consider that the laps are about 20, what are we running? 27 seconds right
28
now?
At the moment.
28 seconds, yep. That's multiple laps ahead, basically.
Yeah, it is. He's just been unstoppable here as well. Heitman has got Dyson behind him, Benefield behind that, Palladino behind that one there as well. They are really close together, these top 2 to 6 at the moment. This is probably the closest amount of field. And then, of course, Damaris Hingerbottom running around with Wayne Grass once more, as these guys look like they have been connected at the hip for pretty much most of this race, as Damaris goes and taps the wall and is now looking for that inside line over Grass. Can he get it this time? He didn't quite get it last time out, but he tried it. Is he going to be able to get it again? Is he going to block Grass up behind the number 22 there? Oh, no! Ooh. Is that a yellow? It's not.
That's...
Oh!
I'm surprised it's not a yellow.
I'm wondering if it's because both men were kind of off the side of the racing line, and Taylor and Grass making contact. Joseph was probably so lucky there.
Yeah, that is not going to be what Taylor wants. Already running a rough race and now having his aero and possibly suspension damaged quite heavily from that.
Yeah. 12 to go. Can get a hold on. Can get a hold on from Derek Heitman. That is the 89 behind him there. That's Nick Alford, who is lapped. So there goes Gidder. Heitman's going to go underneath as well. Alford had some fun for a brief few seconds and now removes himself from the equation. 11 to go here at Phoenix. Don't forget, guys, support the Cup Series tomorrow over on the 100% Cup YouTube channel. You can search it up and you will find it there. Once more, Heitman's pushed Gidder down one more place. It looks like Dyson might be doing the same. Yeah.
At this point, I think the question is, can Gidder hold on from Benefield? Because Benefield's actually made up quite a bit of time in the past couple of laps. There's only 10 to go, so we don't have a ton of time. But Benefield has, like I said, he's been really pulling out the time. I think maybe he had just been kind of taking it easy through most of the race and now wants to get as many points as he can, even though at this point he has the championship in the bag. There's very little that could stop him. But yeah, I mean, get as many points as you can doesn't hurt.
No, of course not. Look at Max Verstappen. He ain't just stopped and taken the championship. He's carried on winning everything. And he took pole at quality as well at Brazil. So, could be looking like a dominant Red Bull there as well. Performance from Brazil. But let's see what happens. You never know. Something amazing might happen. Not sure.
Yeah, I admittedly haven't been following this season as much as I followed last season. With the complete shutout it's been, I've been less compelled to watch every race.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's probably not done himself shining in a shining light here either as well. So,
yeah,
he's been a little bit up and down. Don't forget, guys, as well, if you are in the Phoenix area this weekend, you can obviously look at Phoenix Raceway and see if you want to get yourselves involved. Saturday 4th of November is the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. Tickets are available there as well, so you can get yourselves involved in that one if you really want to. And then obviously will be the championship race on the November the 5th. So get yourselves in that 1 p.m. local time. So if you're around Phoenix, fancy picking up on some championship finals, go and have a look and get yourself down there if you are there or thereabouts. And Benefield is now taking Gitter, like Gitter is just stood still, unfortunately. Looks like Gitter is struggling. That's not an ideal scenario for Patrick Gitter, unless of course they make contact or something at the moment. I don't really know, but yeah, not an ideal scenario for Patrick Gitter there.
Yeah, his tires are 8 laps older, so I wonder if maybe at this point they're dropping off so heavily that he's having trouble keeping them in, a good operating range and keeping them from sliding out from under him. It looked like he was struggling with the car a little bit, so that might be the factor there.
Yeah, I fully agree. 5 to go on the clock here, guys. Thank you so much to everybody that has joined us for this race. It's been a pleasure having you along. You are looking at what is a less disaster, bar a natural disaster, a lightning strike or rain coming soon.
Still got a couple of months for that.
Yeah, coming soon apparently. But we'll see. Adam Benefield is going to wrap up the Div 2 Championship. This is looking like it's going to be his, as I said, bar a disconnect or internet or power cut. That's pretty much the only things that can stop Adam Benefield taking this championship right about now. But we do have to give the superlatives to Joseph, who has been dominant in this race. He's gained 26 places. Once he got to the front, he held the front, he just stayed at the front. And where is he? He is at the front. He has done a stellar job. He lost the place in the second round of pit stops, or the third round of pit stops, I should say, sorry, and managed to catch up very quickly here, Rio. He's just been fast all race.
Yeah, I've said it before, he's been like a bullet in that car the entire race. He's already got 8 seconds on Heitman behind him and still pulling, I mean, at this point, losing a little bit on the straight, but each lap he's still pulling a little bit more of a gap, which is just crazy to see this late in the race that he still has the same pace to give with these old worn out tires.
It's a little bit crazy how much pace he has got, to be fair, but he has been physically insane on the final lap here as well. The leader's going to come up over the line. He is going to take this win. Joseph's going to come over, take that checkered flag. Here he goes. There he is. What a win for Joseph. And now you're going to have Heitman's going to come over the line. Look like he's going to finish in front of Dyson. There he is there. Heitman, Dyson, all there. Benefield. Gitter comes home in 5th place. Just not enough for Patrick Gitter. He just didn't quite have it. He knew he had a bit of a tall order, just didn't quite get there enough. And why I quickly work out these scores, where Adam Benefield in 4th, so that is 33, 8, 7, 9, 7, 8. Gitter in 5th, that is 32. 9, 6, 5. So it was 13 points in the end, as Joseph does some celebratory donuts, well-deserved celebratory donuts, I must say. So great job from him, and burns it out there as well. But the results are Joseph out in front and wins this race by 8.8 seconds. Derek Heitman in 2nd, Dyson in 3rd, Adam Benefield in 4th, Patrick Gitter in 5th, Pedro Palladino in 6th, Lucas Abreu in 7th, Alex van der Zandt in 8th, Matt Dicciani in 9th place, Tanner Marty 10th, Corey Harville in 11th, Chad Keeby in Corey Harville 12th, Chad Keeby 13th, Ben Tracy 14th, Nick Alford 15th, Jason Taylor down in 16th in the end, Damaris Hinkenbottom 17th, and Wayne Grass in 18th place. Nick Shell 19th, Dustin Hall in 20th, Nicholas Precy 21st, Jordan Pearson 22nd, Cameron King 23rd, John Delaney down 68 laps back from that in 24th, Ryan Adams 25th, Carl Lamont 26th, Cody Coley 27th, and then Sean O'Brien, who looks like he didn't actually start the race here as well. We'll get Derek Heitman, Andrew Dyson, I wonder if I can get Adam Benefield into the waiting room, because we obviously need to have a chat with the championship winner. And of course we need Joseph. Joseph, where are you, young man? There you are. So let's move him as well. But I'll tell you what we do. We'll go in 3rd upwards. And we will start off this conversation with a man who last week battled 10 kangaroos. This week, not as many. How did he get on? We talked to him earlier on. Your Stage 2 winner 1, Mr. Andrew Dyson. Andrew, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Once again, yes, good to be back again.
Yes, mate, you are. We seem to be talking quite a lot here, young sir. 4th place, are you happy with that? What do you think?
Pretty good. I mean, I think I could have gone one better. I kind of robbed myself in the pit stop cycle there and got myself out of position. Like, I had such a bad exit at the pit box and then I really struggled on that first lap because of it. On that last stint there. So, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It was a good race anyway. So,
yeah,
learn something and try and put that in the book and remember bank it. And do better tomorrow. We'll see.
Are you going to do better tomorrow?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, competition generally tends to go up and everyone brings their A game. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Have you learned enough to know what your car's going to do over a short run and long run, though? Because we have had blips in there, So, are you going away learning something about the car?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I probably would have changed a couple of things for that last run there, like knowing what I know now. But yeah, like I said, you memory bank that and take it into the next race you do.
Well, I agree there as well. Well, good luck, sir. I hope it goes well for you tomorrow. I will tune in Sunday morning with me toast and me cup of tea, sitting in bed watching it back. Andrew, thank you for a pleasure as always. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, just everyone for a great race tonight. Thanks to you folks for putting on the broadcast. Really appreciate that. And everyone at 100% Cup Series who put on this league.
Awesome.
Really appreciate that.
Awesome stuff there, buddy. Well, have a good one tomorrow and good luck. And let's see if you can get into that victory lane. Take care.
Thanks. Have a good day.
And you, man. Next up, we will have a chat with a man that finished in second place here this evening. One, Mr. Derek Heitman. Derek, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
I am great. How are you guys?
I'm not bad, thank you very much. Not bad at all. Watched some great racing, you know. For you, how was the racing in general?
I mean, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. I feel like I need to take a shower. I'm so sweaty. Not only was it hot on the track, it got hot, you know, in the cockpit. That was a ton of fun. Had a scare with Pedro there in the third stage, but we all got it sorted out and wound up where we needed to.
Yeah, definitely a little bit scary towards the end. And, you know, at the end of the day, people's tyres were going off. It was full on that one. You know, up 8 positions, not a bad gain over the race. How was the car in general going in for you?
The car was good. The long run was fantastic. It felt like once we hit a certain lap in the run that the car just flipped a switch. And there was an advantage that I felt like that I had, that I was able to maneuver and roll the bottom of, you know, in particular 1 and 2 was my strong suit, better than everybody else. So I was able to make up positions there. About scared myself on pit road. Thought I was going to speed, but other than that, it was great.
Yeah, how tricky was the pit entry? Because we were talking about it up here in the booth. How tricky was it for you drivers to come down and get that car stopped?
You know, in this track temp, what do we have? 103 track temp tonight. It was a lot slicker on entry than I anticipated, so I'm glad that I braked when I did, because I was able to get it woed up right at the line, and it worked out.
Yeah, well done to you, young sir. Derek, anyone before I let you go you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I got to thank NAMI, Northern Alliance for Mental Illness, for their continued research and dedication to help those with mental illnesses. Definitely got to thank the primary sponsor on the car, No Kid Hungry. They donate over 10,000 meals to children all around the world every single day. And, you know, with the stuff going on in the world right now, they are doing their part to you know, provide care packages and get those kids taken care of. And I definitely got to thank Ryko for giving me the setup this week. This thing is an absolute monster on the long run. Ken Byron put in countless hours of work for us this week to make sure that we were where we needed to be towards the end of the week to be able to compete in every single race that came up. And, you know, I just can't thank him enough for always making sure that we got a good piece to compete with.
Awesome stuff. Sorry, anyone?
I was going to thank D, you know, for putting on the league. Been a fantastic season. It's unfortunate that it's already came to an end. It went by a lot faster than I anticipated. So thank you to Maris for putting on the league, and shout out to you guys for doing a great job with the broadcast as well.
Awesome stuff. Well, Derek, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And, well, maybe we'll have a chat next season.
Yeah, I hope so.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Right, and next up, it is the man that seemed unstoppable here this evening. He gained 26 places. He got that car to the front. He didn't lose it when he got it there. He only gained it. He lost the lead in the pit stops in the final pit stop. Took it back within a couple of laps. Let's have a chat with him. Joseph, welcome into the booth there, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling good.
Feeling good? Dude, you were flying.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, honestly. I was surprised I was that fast. I thought I was burning my tires up that run when I had such a big gap, but it held strong there.
Well, it definitely did. You won by 8.8 seconds. You know, that's massive. And what was it tonight? What did you have? What, you know, did you super glue the tires on, or what was the situation for you?
Yeah, my setup was really good this week. I was expecting to be pretty strong. I missed the qualifying lap, so I had to start from the back, and I was moving forward slowly. And in the second stage, I figured out I was pretty decent on pace when I was able to keep up with Dyson and Delaney and company. And I was just waiting to see if I can get clean air and stay in the front from there, because clean air was very vital.
Yeah, it was, and for you, it was incredible. Did you expect to pull away from Patrick Gidder and Dyson behind you? You know, all of these fast guys, and there you are, just running away with it. Did you think that something was going on, or what the situation was? Because you just had it in the bag all the way through the race.
Yeah, I was like really scared at the beginning when I first took the lead, and I was like pulling away so much. I think I was like 2 seconds ahead in like 10 laps. I thought I burnt my tires off, and I thought they're gonna like reel me back in, but I still like throughout the run I kept on gaining, and I never like started losing time. So I was surprised. It was probably because they were racing so hard for a second that I was just able to like run my line and save my tires.
Yeah, I do fully agree with you there, sir. Well, congratulations, Joseph, on your win. Absolutely impressive. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go here this evening?
Yeah, shout out to Ken. He made this setup. It was bad fast. It was amazing. Ryko performance. It was a great setup. And yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, Joseph. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, sir, as well. And maybe we'll catch up with you next season, as this season has come to a close. But for now, buddy, take care.
Thank you.
Right, and now let's have a chat with a man that has been on the pace all season. He has wrapped it up. He's taken the victory. He's done an absolute stellar job. He did everything he needed to do here this evening. One, Mr. Adam Benefield. Adam, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
I'm all right, mate. Not bad at all, thank you very much. I've just seen you wrap up the championship. By my maths calculation, which, don't get me wrong, at 3 in the morning is a little bit up and down. I've got you ahead by 13 points. Did you think you could come in and do that here this evening? Because you did it was a stellar job.
I mean, yeah, like 18 points coming in. Like I don't know. I kind of felt like I would have had to get wrecked, and he would have had to sweep everything, and to really have to get me worried, I guess. But I kind of was fine with it when got some stage points in both stages. But we were terrible tonight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like we were flat out terrible. We were doing some R&D work for Matt for tomorrow night for the championship for tomorrow night. He's in the Final Four, so me and Dustin were on an experimental deal, and we flat out terrible. But somehow we were able to piece it together and come out with the championship.
Yeah, and that's got to be praised. Obviously, over the period of the race, he pulled 6 points out of you on the stage, right? So that brought your gap down to 12. I think at one point he needed the win. You needed to finish down in 14th. Did you get worried at all over the first 2 stages that you had lost points at that point?
No, I mean not really, because I was still, even though he was gaining points, like he was just gaining 3 to 4 or something like that. Like you said, it only got down to 13, so I was still scoring stage points. So if I hadn't have got stage points when we started the final stage, like I probably would have got worried. But no, I mean, I really wasn't worried, because my main thing was just, no matter what, make sure I can see him out of my windshield. If I can see him out of my windshield, then I'll be fine. And he pulled a strategy that, I mean, he had his back against the wall, like he had to try something. And I just stayed and, went with a traditional strategy, nothing too crazy, and found a delta to where it would put me to where I was kind of by myself. And my goal was all night just to be within 3 to 4 spots of him, and was going to be fine. And we was able to run him down and get him right there at the end. So wasn't too worried, but there at the beginning I was a little bit like I decided not to qualify, and it almost put me in a mess back there in the back. But we were able to make it through.
Yeah, you definitely did this as well. So well done for you this season's Div 2 winner. Adam, anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, Martin PC, WR1 Sim Chassis, EPI, Team Conti, Dustin. He's stuck with me all year, and he's been a big reason that I've won so many races. He's a freak show when it comes to putting rocket ships under you. So big thanks to him. All the guys over here that helped, Team Conti, Patrick and Kyle, and just all my friends that support me. Roll Speed Dynamics, Cardin Excavating, Blackstone Farms, Pink Magic, everybody that comes in and helps me out, and they log into these streams and they watch and they hang out and talk a little BS to me, and they keep it entertaining. So I'm really thankful for all those guys, and then obviously my wife for letting me get in here and play video games.
Yeah.
So without that, big thanks to her for putting up with kids for a little while.
Yeah, I know that one, mate, as well. But well done, dear sir. Well, congratulations on your victory. We will let you go. Go and celebrate it. Win as well. Well done, Adam. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
All right. Appreciate it.
Take care. Well, there you go, Rhea. Adam Benefield wrapping up the championship, seems happy about taking it as well. I don't know if I agree with we've been, rubbish. I don't think, he really had much to worry about. I think he just had to do what he had to do. So I think that self-doubt, again, as we've spoken previously, comes into it. I think, I don't really see rubbish as a word that you associate with Adam Benefield, who's just gone and wrapped up a championship.
Yeah, I could see the point of view of, we had a couple of missteps. We could have done better here or here, but I definitely don't think rubbish is a good word. I mean, you won the championship. You couldn't have done better. I mean, you could have had a bigger gap, but that's winning is still winning. I don't think there was any missteps really. I mean, sure, we saw last week the setup wasn't perfect, but it was enough to get him through.
I agree. I do agree. All right, guys, this is going to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us for the final time this season. I've been James Parfitt alongside Rhea Subra here. And, as always, guys, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track next season. Good night.